Hey guys, Chris Murphy here. I want to do a video today to talk about how you want to let go of desire, how you want to let go of chasing things externally and focus a lot more on gratitude to what is within, the happiness that you have based on your current surroundings, what's in your life at the moment, instead of craving more and more. The more we crave, the more we desire, the more we will reach that unhappiness, the being up, the being down. Whereas if you focus a lot more internally, focusing on the gratitude, you can have abundance and have those desires come to you more naturally as well, rather than come from a state of fear where we feel like we need this. So as a quick introduction into and a bit of a background as to how this thing comes apparent into your life, you come into this world feeling complete, feeling full of love, of gratitude and grateful for life. However, as we're conditioned, we then have a sense of lack. We were conditioned to needing more and more. It's a bit contradictory if you probably look to more your parents and your upbringing in society, that we should be grateful for what we already have, but at the same time we should desire more, we should be chasing more. Your life has already been mapped out to you that you should get a better job, you should be getting more and more money, you should be focusing on security. But based on what your parents want for you, what society wants for you, is to keep you safe, is to keep the economy running. From society's point of view, your parents want you to be safe. So the more money you make, the more the job, the house, everything leads to security. And as well, it's a bit of a guilt trip where we feel a lack of gratitude. Perhaps people say to us, you should be more grateful for what you have. And if you look at me, behind me, for example, the clouds are there, and there's a beautiful view of the Annapurna mountain range, the ice caps, which you can barely see in the background. And where this comes in now is the desire and wanting to see that. Perhaps me saying, I can't wait to see that, another day or two, then I'll be happy. Whereas you look at the beauty around, there's the Annapurna Glacier Lake behind me, and then further down is the lake as well. So you bring more awareness to what is already there, what you're already grateful for. Now, by constantly looking externally, we feel a sense of lack. And again, this comes down to the ego. As I've mentioned before, the ego comes down to wanting to either protect yourself or to enhance yourself. As you can tell, I'm a bit out of breath here. I've literally just come all the way up here. I've just climbed about 200 meters. And I thought this just came to my awareness of this video, because I did a Vipassana more recently, and as we talked about just then, the ego wanted to protect, enhance itself. If you let go of that for a second and focus what is already in your life, what you're grateful for. Day 5, day 6 of a Vipassana, for those of you who don't know, Vipassana is a 10-day silent meditation retreat. You meditate for 10 hours a day, you can't speak to anyone, and all your meals are done for you. The only thing to do is rest. You can't read, you can't check your phone. You're disconnected from the outside world. So it gives you a lot of time to focus more on the meditation cycles, to look more internally on the sensations you have in your body. And what I learned was this sense of gratitude came up. Whereas I focused, my main problems, I guess, as I focus, is still with the desire to maybe want more freedom, success, money, women. And that's all from my conditioning, my surroundings. It's not, you want to come from a different place. Of course, those things can come into your life, but it has to come from the right place. It has to come from a place of more abundance. And at one point, everything I let go of all of that. It was like that didn't matter. This sense of gratitude came up as I dug deeper into my subconscious. Of course, the subconscious is what's deeper that you're not currently aware of, stuff that maybe you've suppressed over time. And there was this feeling of gratitude. This gratitude towards my parents, towards my grandparents, and how they raised me, how I was just so grateful for everything that they've done for me, and how I've been brought into this world, and it didn't really bring awareness to that, and you forget about that. And it's quite contradictory in a way, because perhaps they're telling you to more for desire, to desire more things, more security. So it's a bit of a trap. And then perhaps you're saying, well, maybe they might say to you, sometimes you should be more grateful for what you have. But the point is, you don't feel it. You should never be grateful for something out of guilt. gratitude out of guilt, like I should be more grateful, is bad. It's something, again, chasing externally, part of the ego. I should be this, I need to become this. Whereas gratitude should come from within. And once you focus from within and you feel it, and you should feel it. For me, it took a bit of time, but I was grateful. And then there was guilt. There was guilt that I wasn't grateful. And, tears came to my eyes. I was very sad, but nothing mattered. No desire, nothing in this world was important as that. And how grateful I was of that. And then the more you let go of that, the more you let go of chasing things externally, the more you bring awareness to what you already have. And as you do that, those things you desire will naturally come into your life, because maybe, having more money, or for me, it was more women, or it's the success, that stuff will naturally come into your life, because that's what brings you joy, what brings things you enjoy. You don't need it, but it'll come into your life naturally. And I know that sounds quite contradictory, but you have to focus internally, because as we've mentioned time and time again, chasing things externally will only lead you to wanting more and more. And when you have them, you will look to cling onto them. The ego wants to cling onto something. And this comes from sensations in your body. When you label things as good and bad, achieving a desire is good, not achieving a desire is bad. And you should feel it. And the more you feel it in your body, and again, this comes from meditation, the more you feel it, the more you'll bring awareness to it. And the less you will probably chase things externally, because you just don't label them no more as good or bad. You just realize that that's the way of life. So gratitude, again, we should be, we're naturally, it's within us to feel grateful, although that might be suppressed. But don't do that out of guilt. Perhaps you make more money than you feel like you deserve, so you give it all to charity. That won't solve the problem. You have to look internally within. So focus on gratitude, and just constantly look for all areas in your life with people where you're grateful for. And this comes again from a foundation, as I mentioned, from the responsibility circles, the responsibility of with your parents, and that basically will map out everything in your life. The circles, where things are at base level, recreate the patterns in all areas of your life. So the more you focus on the meditation, perhaps that stuff in your subconscious will come up. And the more you can work on that relationship, understanding how you've been conditioned, how you started early on in life, then you will see the patterns. And the more you can bring gratefulness to what things happened to you earlier in life, then you can be grateful from everything else. Remember, it's all about getting to the root cause. You look for what you're grateful for in the last year, the last 2 years. That is not going to be as significant as looking to the past. And again, you can have a quick dive into the past, but you don't force it. So I would look to make a list, and I know you've heard this probably numerous times, what you're grateful for. Keep a gratitude journal, but literally write things down and look into everything that happens, what you're grateful for every day, and really look to feel it and to show it as well. Examples are like when I get a meal here in Nepal, where I am at the moment, just when you get a tea, or if you really appreciate the food, or someone like this woman cooked a really nice apple pie and she was selling them, and I was just showed my gratitude. I was like, this is the best apple pie, like, thank you so much. And really speak from within, look to feel it, because it comes down to feelings. Don't just run around in your head, and you will get there. But understand, again, it's the conditioning, and we want to undo that conditioning to get back to our essence, the authenticity which is within us. And we've been there before, and that's why we chase it, because we felt it before. It's all about feeling, and the more you feel it, the more you feel connected to existence, to the world, to other people. So that's my thoughts on desires, and I can speak from myself, from chasing so much, and sometimes it just led to a lot of unhappiness and not feeling complete, and again, disappointment of, why am I chasing this and it's not feeling feeling happy. It's so much better just to internally feel fulfilled and to just look at your life and be grateful. And it might be difficult to understand at first, but practicing gratitude is great because there's no real negativity. It's an emotion you can play with, and if anything, it's a positive emotion. It's not negative. As I mentioned to you, perhaps maybe some guilt might come up, but again, we want to be letting go of guilt. Guilt holds us back. Guilt is, as I mentioned, maybe it's related to your family, maybe it's related to your friends, society, of how you should live your life. And then you chase the desires, because that's the desires everyone else is chasing you, that we're conditioned, we're taught from society we need to chase to feel happy, when it's not. And we feel guilt because we know deep down it's not going to bring happiness. We just do it because we're told to, because everyone else is, and we want to fit in. However, you let go of that, you focus on gratitude, you can feel a lot more connected to yourself within, love yourself more, and then everything can pass on to other people, and you become that genuine, authentic, amazing human being that you can be. So practice some gratitude, have a look at your life. It's Chris Murphy signing off. Very cloudy day here, and I will see you soon.